I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Elsa, it's Lynn. I only have a minute. I'm on United 93, and it's been hijacked by terrorists who say they have a bomb. Apparently they have flown a couple of planes into the World Trade Center already, and it looks like they're going to take this one down as well. Mostly, I just wanted to say I love you, and I'm going to miss you. and please keep my love to my dad. Mostly, I just love you, and I just wanted to tell you that. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to tell you that again or not. I love you, and I hope I can talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly. We are back once again with another video. Please subscribe to the channel if you are into news, true crime stories, politics, and so much more, guys. I would appreciate it. And if you're a returning listener or subscriber, thank you guys so much for being a friend. Thank you to everyone who's watching this video, and please interact. Like the video if you like it. Comment on this one, guys. Let me know what y'all think, because I have a lot of thoughts, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts on this video are, because it's a bit of a interesting subject matter that we're going to get into today, and I want to know what you guys think. So please interact. It really does help me out. So let's just jump right on into it, guys. I've been seeing this all over my Twitter feed all day about these woke TikTok users, okay? I mean, TikTok is out of control. I still don't have TikTok. I never will have TikTok. I don't understand how people who have the attention span of like 10 seconds have been able to make a 2-page letter go viral that they all apparently read and were able to comprehend. But here we are. So this letter that Osama bin Laden wrote, called A Letter to America, has gone viral on TikTok, and people, well, they decided to get their asses up on their Twitter accounts and let us all know about how right bin Laden was, and how moral they think his stance and his opinions were in this letter. And I have my own thoughts on 9/11, okay? And so I have a little bit of nuance, I feel like, that I can add to this topic. So I wanted to get on here and do a video about it, guys. So without further ado, let's get into it, and we'll discuss, and I want to know what you guys think about all of this, because I think it's just an absolute ridiculous layer to this already shit showy clown world that we're living in. But to see this go viral, and I put off kind of reading it for a while. Like, I just read it late last night, and after I read it, I was just kind of like blown away. Let's actually start with that letter. I'm going to read it to you guys in full, and then we're going to get into opinions and a few other things. The letter was actually initially first published by The Guardian, and then it started like, and this came out in 2002, so about a year after the initial attack. And so it's not new. It's not something that was just released, but the woke ideologues of today are just now discovering it. People who weren't even alive during 9/11, who really know nothing about that, who really don't know anything about much of anything. These are the people that shout from the river to the sea and can't name you what river and what sea they're talking about, okay? These are the people that, on one hand, believe in LGBTQ, a million pronouns, and men can become women and vice versa, but will then be shocked to hear that in Palestine they throw gay people off buildings. These are the same people that scream about women should be allowed to abort babies after, the 9 months is up, and that women should be allowed to sell their bodies for sex and be objectified as much as they want to, and work any job that they want to, and women's rights and all this. But then they don't know that in Palestine, women have to wear coverings from head to toe in certain Muslim areas of the world. You know, these are the same people that will praise somebody like Osama bin Laden. The hypocrisy has really been starting to get to me lately, in the fact that, you know, leftists talk out of both sides of their mouth and their ass constantly without having any actual consistency in their moral outcries. It just pisses me off. Like, just stay consistent. That's all I ask. If you want to be a leftist American lunatic, then maybe don't be so forceful in speaking out for a country like Palestine, who would disagree with every ideological point that you are making here in this country. And, you know, there's a lot to say about America and the government of America, you know, but not the country, but the government. Okay. And I have a lot to say about it. You guys have heard me say a lot about it. You know, our government was captured a long time ago. Like, when JFK was assassinated, when we started implementing all of these agencies like the CIA and all of these secretive coups, you know, like in faraway lands started happening, and Americans had their government taken over by people who didn't have the best interests of our country without even us knowing it. When that happened decades ago, that was probably the greatest tragedy that happened in modern history, without a single person even realizing what was going on at the time. But now all of that has led us to where we're at now. And people are just now kind of realizing what's going on. Some people are on the right side of the argument, and some people are praising Osama bin Laden. People don't understand what it is that they're speaking out for. People don't understand when they are protesting in the streets for Palestine. They don't even know what river they're talking about. They don't even know where Palestine is. They could not point you to Israel or Palestine on a map. But they're out there chanting nonetheless. And they're agreeing with Osama bin Laden, which, granted, like, this letter, I'm sure was vetted. I'm sure it's real. I'm sure it's authentic. But is it? Like, is it? Do we actually know that? Did Osama bin Laden ever come out and say, take responsibility for writing a letter like this? Like, could it have been possible CIA, like, propaganda? I mean, we don't know. Nobody on TikTok knows. They just spout off nonsense, as per usual. You know, that's why it took me a little while to actually go and get the curiosity to even read it, because I just kept seeing it on Twitter, but I was just kind of like, whatever. I don't really care what Osama bin Laden had to say, letter to America. Like, listen, I got my own thoughts. I don't need to know what a Muslim living in a cave in Pakistan or wherever the fuck he was at thinks about America whenever I don't even know what he's got going on over there. But once I finally did read it, I was just, like, blown away at the stupidity of these people who just, like, you know, can think one way and then read a 2-page letter and just take it at face value and just say, oh, yep, this is Osama bin Laden. He wrote this. Yep. And he was right. Yep. This checks out to me. You people are retards. So let's read the letter, guys. I'm saying a lot. I didn't mean to, like, spout off all that ahead of reading the letter, but you guys know how I get down sometimes. It says, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I disavow. Permission to fight against disbelievers is given to those believers who are fought against because they have been wronged, and surely Allah is able to give them believers victory. So the letter starts. Some American writers have published articles under the title, On What Basis Are We Fighting? These articles have generated a number of responses, some of which adhered to the truth and were based on Islamic law, and others which have not. Here we want to outline the truth as an explanation and warning, hoping for Allah's reward, seeking success and support from Him. While seeking Allah's help, we form our reply based on 2 questions directed at the Americans. Question 1, why are we fighting and opposing you? And question 2, what are we calling you to, and what do we want from you? As for the first question, why are we fighting and opposing you? The answer is very simple. Number 1, because you attacked us and continue to attack us. And he's got it broken down. He's got, like, bullet points, okay? So under point 1, Article A, he says, you attacked us in Palestine, okay? And under Article A, he has Article I, okay? This is real fucking super duper thought-provoking thesis here. Yeah, okay. Writing from a fucking cave near you. Anywho, I continue. Palestine, which has sunk under military occupation for more than 80 years. The British handed over Palestine with your help and your support to the Jews who have occupied it for more than 50 years. Years overflowing with oppression, tyranny, crimes, killing, expulsion, destruction, and devastation. The creation and continuation of Israel is one of the greatest crimes, and you are the leaders of its criminals. And of course, there is no need to explain and prove the degree of American support for Israel. The creation of Israel is a crime which must be erased. Each and every person whose hands have become polluted in the contribution towards this crime must pay for its price, and pay for it heavily. Point I. This is so retarded. Like, what? Okay. It brings us both laughter and tears to see that you have not yet tired of repeating your fabricated lies that the Jews have a historical right to Palestine, as it was promised to them in the Torah. Anyone who disputes with them on this alleged fact is accused of anti-Semitism. This is one of the most fallacious, widely circulated fabrications in history. The people of Palestine are pure Arabs and original Semites. It is the Muslims who are the inheritors of Moses, peace be upon him, and the inheritors of the real Torah that has not been changed. Muslims believe in all of the prophets, including Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon them all. If the followers of Moses have been promised a right to Palestine in the Torah, then the Muslims are the most worthy nation of this. When the Muslims conquered Palestine and drove out the Romans, Palestine and Jerusalem returned to Islam, the religion of all the prophets, peace be upon them. And see, he's saying that Jesus was a Muslim. Well, I'm sorry, I don't think that checks out, sir. I might want to fact check that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this letter is just filled with things that like. We're just taking at face value, right? Like, this is what drives me crazy, is that, like, all these idiots on TikTok have zero desire to actually, like, learn about what's actually going on, and have zero desire to actually, like, fix what's missing inside of them, the void that is causing young people to become so lost in this world, to become so angry and just filled with this like bitter rage because religion has vanished from this country, because morality has vanished from this country. They don't want to do any soul searching, so they're out there searching nations afar for like answers to their problems and like a cause to fight and believe for and believe in. But it's just it's a fruitless endeavor, because they're not going to find what they're looking for outside of themselves and outside of seeking God. And that's the tragic, sad fact of it all, is that they're just aimlessly fighting a lost cause. But yet we'll sit here and read this. And, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So, like, there are some things in this letter that even I was like, okay, yes, agree, And I'm not saying I agree with Osama bin Laden. I'm just saying that, like, some of the points in the letter might have been valid. It doesn't mean that, like, the whole thing is true and the whole thing is absolutely 100% not propaganda. I mean, do people not understand that, like, they are all doing propaganda over there? I mean, like, every government does it. Every government tries to brainwash their ideologies onto their citizens to justify their actions. I mean, this is like common sense, people, but it's not so common anymore. So I continue. Therefore, the call to a historical right to Palestine cannot be raised against the Islamic Ummah that believes in all the prophets of Allah, and we make no distinction between them. Point 3. The blood pouring out of Palestine must be equally revenged. You must know that the Palestinians do not cry alone. Their women are not widowed alone, and their sons are not orphaned alone. Point B. You attacked us in Somalia. You supported the Russian atrocities against us in Chechnya, the Indian oppression against us in Kashmir, and the Jewish aggression against us in Lebanon. Well, you guys are starting to sound a lot like certain people who just love to play the victim. I mean, poor you, right? Poor, pitiful you guys. So sorry about that. I mean, my goodness. Point C. Under your supervision, consent, and orders, the governments of our countries which act as your agents attack us on a daily basis. Okay, and this is where it starts to kind of like, okay, I can see your points, point taken. You can still go fuck off. So now we're under point C, and we're going to the first bullet point under there. I mean, this is the way this is structured is sending me. These governments prevent our people from establishing the Islamic Sharia using violence and lies to do so. Point 2. These governments give us a taste of humiliation and places us in a large prison of fear and subdual. Point 3. These governments steal our Ummah's wealth and sell them to you at a paltry price. Point 4. These governments have surrendered to the Jews and handed them most of Palestine, acknowledging the existence of their state over the dismembered limbs of their own people. Point 5. The removal of these governments is an obligation upon us and a necessary step to free the Ummah, to make the Sharia the supreme law, and to regain Palestine, and to fight against these governments is not separate from our fight against you. And he's talking to the American people. That's you. That's who he's talking to you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you too. That's right. Okay. Point D. You steal our wealth and oil at paltry prices because of you international influence and military threats. This theft is indeed the biggest theft ever witnessed by mankind in the history of the world. And how do you know that? Like, that's one of those things. Source, bro. Source. Excuse me. Bin Laden, sir. Source. Yeah. Okay. What the fuck's your point? All these people who are, like, against colonization, you know, I think maybe now is a good point to say that, like, okay, yeah, like, maybe if countries want to agree to not colonize other countries, I'm fine with that. But if they don't agree with our stance on that, and, you know, say in places like Africa or the Middle East or, you know, Russia or whatever, if they don't agree with us and they want to colonize and they want to take over other countries, as has been the norm for since forever, that's fine too. Hey, y'all do you. Just don't come over here and bring that bullshit over here, because we got more guns than people, and I don't think you're going to be invading this country anytime soon. So as long as that's not happening, you know, I'm not going to. I don't think American government and you know, Americans shouldn't. We shouldn't be encouraging our governments to be the police of every other nation in the world. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, if they want to do, you know, something that we don't agree with in a region of the world where we are not have, you know, we don't have like any say in doing that. I don't think. I just think that's also something that I have been expressing on my channel for a while now. Not to say that, like, I want us to be completely isolationist, but I think that we can have allies, we can have even opinions on the world stage, we can have foreign policy, we can deal with countries that are difficult that we might not agree with, but, like, I just don't think it's right for us to be going into these places and upending governments, as we do often, you know, and trying to get involved in conflicts that really have nothing to do with us. You know, and it's one thing if when provoked, like on 9/11 or whatever, whatever you want to think about that. If we go and bomb a country, like Donald Trump said, if we do have to take it to that point, then yes, we're going to take all of your shit. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We will. Because that's just the fact of war. But other than that, I think that we need to slow our roll. We've been needing to slow our roll and fix the problems here. Because all of that other shit has nothing to do with all of us. And if you think that it does have something to do with you, I would just ask you how your life's been going. And then if your life is great, you have everything you need, all your family's taken care of and everything like that, and you still want to go and get involved in a foreign war, then we'll ship you out there, no problem. Okay? Point E. Your forces occupy our countries. You spread your military bases throughout them. You corrupt our lands, and you besiege our sanctities to protect the security of the Jews and to ensure the continuity of your pillage of our treasures. And we should stop doing that. Absolutely. I agree. You know, we won't occupy you if you don't mess with us. We'll leave you right where you're at. Just don't call us if you guys need help. That's my only other, point that I want to make, is that, if you all get into some shit out there, lose my number. That's all I have to say. So, point F, you have starved the Muslims of Iraq, where children die every day. It is a wonder that more than 1.5 million Iraqi children have died as a result of your sanctions, and you did not show concern. Yet when 3,000 of your people died, the entire world rises and has not yet sat down. And I don't agree with that last part, because any loss of life is a travesty and should absolutely be spoken out against. But not enough people talk about the war crimes that happened in Iraq and the 1.5 million people that lost their lives there, the citizens, the civilians, some of which may have been bad, some of which may have been, or some of which I know were good. And it is disgusting to me that, like, that point is right. I'm not going to say he's right, because, again, I can't verify. I wasn't in the cave with him while he was scribbling this down in Arabic, I wasn't there, so I'm not going to, whatever. We're just talking about it in as a point of discussion. But it is disgusting what happened in Iraq. When 9/11 happened, it was insane that nobody questioned. Supposedly bin Laden was living and residing in Afghanistan, but yet we went straight over to Iraq and started bombing the shit out of them. And granted, it's the same thing as what's going on today. Everyone's crying about, we need to go and bring this fight to Iraq because they're funding Palestinian and Hamas and Hezbollah and all these other terrorist cells. So we need to go and get Iraq. Well, it's like, you know what? No. I don't know what the fuck's going on. There must be like hella oil in Iraq. That's all I can think is, like, there's gotta be like so much there, because it is ridiculous that nobody questions these things. And that amount of people should have never lost their lives over this conflict. It's just an absolute disgrace. But any loss of life is a disgrace. And for him to talk about American citizens and how our innocent civilians shouldn't have been honored you can go fuck yourself. And that's when, you lose me there. So, point G, you have supported the Jews in their idea that Jerusalem is their eternal capital and agreed to move your embassy there. With your help and under your protection, the Israelis are planning to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Under the protection of your weapons, Sharon entered the Al-Aqsa Mosque to pollute it as a preparation to capture and destroy it. These tragedies and calamities are only a few examples of your oppression and aggression against us. It is commanded by our religion and intellect that the oppressed have a right to return the aggression. Do not await anything from us but jihad, resistance, and revenge. Is it in any way rational to expect that after America has attacked us for more than half a century, that we will then leave her to live in security and peace? Question mark, exclamation, exclamation. So you're telling me Mr. Caveman Osama bin Laden was all question mark, exclamation, exclamation, frowny face emoji, angry face emoji, like what, okay. Point 3. You may then dispute that all the above does not justify aggression against civilians for crimes they did not commit and offenses in which they did not partake. Point A, under section 3, this argument contradicts your continuous repetition that America is the land of freedom and its leaders in this world. Therefore, the American people are the ones who choose their government by way of their own free will, a choice which stems from their agreement to its policies. Thus, the American people have chosen, consented to, and affirmed their support for the Israeli oppression of the Palestinians, the occupation and the usurpation of their land, and its continuous killing, torture, punishment, and expulsion of the Palestinians. The American people have the ability and choice to refuse the policies of their government and even to change it if they want. And that's where you got us fucked up, and you're dumb. You're showing your low IQ, caveman intelligence or lack thereof, because this point is absolutely invalid. Yes, we quote unquote choose our politicians, but do we? Have we had free elections? Have we had really fair elections? I mean, George Bush, the person who was, at the helm of 9/11 times, I mean, that election was contested. Some people think that he didn't win that one. So it's like, you can say this all you want. This is more propaganda. This is just pumping saying words that mean nothing. They're saying words that their only purpose is to gin up some sort of anger, some sort of reaction, because it's complete and utter conjuncture, because it just is not even provably true that Americans are complicit in the evil doings of our government, because we don't know half the shit that goes on when our government goes out and does all of these things. A lot of times when the CIA and agencies like that are orchestrating these coups or these color revolutions, Americans know nothing about that shit, and we don't condone it either. And we don't either have the right or the ability to change it, okay? In most cases. When, since when have Americans been able to actually make some sort of radical change to our government that's been desperately needed for a long time? I really can't think of a time that's happened since 1776, so miss me with your misinformation, sir. Point B, the American people are the ones who pay the taxes which fund the planes that bomb us in Afghanistan, and we don't consent to that either. The tanks that strike and destroy our homes in Palestine, the armies which occupy our lands in the Arabian Gulf, and the fleets which ensure the blockade of Iraq. These tax dollars are given to Israel for it to continue to attack us and penetrate our lands. So the American people are the ones who fund the attacks against us, and they are the ones who oversee the expenditure of these monies in the way they wish through their elected candidates. And that's where I'm like confused on how these wokies on TikTok can read this and be like, oh yes, go off, queen. Yes, sis, I feel you on this. It's like, what are you talking about? This is exactly what y'all are fighting out against. Is it not? Is it not what you're saying that Israel doesn't have a right to do to Palestine? Because make it make sense for me. He's basically saying that because citizens are basically complicit participants in their government's evil doings, so they have just as much they have just as much guilt and blood on their hands as do the people who are in power and who are committing these atrocities, okay? Isn't that what y'all are saying that is bad? Because now I'm confused. Now I'm really confused. It's just complete and utter nonsensical trash, okay? Point C. Also, the American army is part of the American people. It is this very same people who are shamelessly helping the Jews fight against us. Point D. The American people are the ones who employ both their men and their women in the American forces which attack us. Point E. This is why the American people cannot be innocent of all the crimes committed by the Americans and Jews against us. Point F. Allah the Almighty legislated the permission and the option to take revenge. Thus, if we were attacked, then we have the right to attack back. Whoever has destroyed our villages and towns, then we have the right to destroy their villages and towns. Whoever has stolen our wealth, then we have the right to destroy their economy, and whoever has killed our civilians, then we have the right to kill theirs. The American government and press still refuses to answer the question, why did they attack us in New York and Washington? If Sharon is a man of peace in the eyes of Bush, then we are also men of peace. Again, with the triple exclamation mark here. America does not understand the language of manners and principles, so we are addressing it using the language it understands. Whoa, shots fired. Question 2. As for the second question that we want to answer, what are we calling you to and what do we want from you? First bullet point, the first thing that we are calling you to is Islam. No, thank you. I'm not home. Can you call back later? Because absolutely not. And then under point 1, A, the religion of the unification of God, of freedom from associating partners with Him, and rejection of this, of complete love of Him, the exalted, of complete submission to His laws, and of the discarding of all opinions, orders, theories, and religions which contradict with the religion He sent down to His prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Islam is the religion of all the prophets and makes no distinction between them, peace be upon all of them. It is to this religion that we call you, the seal of all the previous religions. It is the religion of unification of God, sincerity, the best of manners, Okay. Righteousness, mercy, honor, purity, and piety. It is the religion of showing kindness to others. Okay. Establishing justice between them, granting them their rights, except for women, and defending the oppressed and the persecuted. And let me not say that, except for women. I mean, they just believe something different, whatever. I'm not saying like, oh, women's rights, like I'm like anti-feminist, but like, come on now. This is just comical, and this shows how ignorant people are. We're gonna watch the TikTokers in a second. So it is the religion of enjoining the good and forbidding the evil with the hand, tongue, and heart. It is the religion of jihad, meaning, martyr killing. Okay, real peaceful. In the way of Allah, so that Allah's word and religion reign supreme. And it is a religion of unity and agreement on the obedience to Allah and the total equality between all people without regard to their color, sex, or language. Point B. It is the religion whose book, the Quran, will remain preserved and unchanged, so say you, after the other divine books and messages have been changed. The Quran is the miracle until the day of judgment. Allah has challenged anyone to bring a book like the Quran or even 10 verses like it. Point 2. The second thing we call you to is to stop your oppression, lies, immorality, and debauchery that is spread among you. And again, this is where, okay, I see. Listen, point taken. We can do better. That's why we're going to head out now. And y'all don't call us for a while. We won't call you, and just let's go about our separate ways. Because we do have a lot to work on. I don't mean that we need to institute Sharia law and erect a statue of Osama bin Laden on U.S. college campuses. That's just my crazy opinion. So, point A under point 2. We call you to be a people of manners, principles, honor, and purity, to reject the immoral acts of fornication, homosexuality, intoxicants, gambling, and trading with interest. Again, leftists. Y'all are good with this? Y'all are okay with this, right? Yeah? We're good? So we agree? We agree on this? So we're not going to do no more, out of marriage fornication, no more homosexuality, intoxicants. Y'all are good? Okay. No, y'all aren't. Okay, that's what I thought. We call you to all of this, that you may be freed from that which you have become caught up in, that you may be freed from the deceptive lies that you are a great nation, that your leaders spread amongst you to conceal you from the despicable state to which you have reached. B. It is saddening to tell you that you are the worst civilization witnessed by the history of mankind. And this is where you started to piss me off. Because, yes, I agree with you. We do need to stop all the sluttery and debauchery, but, don't talk about my country like that, you absolute dick. Point 1 under B. You are the nation who, rather than ruling by Sharia of Allah and its constitution and laws, choose to invent your own laws as you will and desire. You separate religion from your policies, which is true, and also an L, contradicting the pure nature which affirms absolute authority to the Lord and your Creator. You flee from the embarrassing question posed to you. How is it possible for Allah the Almighty to create His creation, grant them power over all the creatures and the land, grant them all the amenities of life, and then deny them that which they are most in need of, knowledge of the laws which govern their lives? Point 2. You are the nation that permits usury, which has been forbidden by all of the religions, yet you build your economy and investments on usury. As a result of this, in all its different forms and guises, the Jews have taken control of your economy, through which they have then taken control of your media, and now control all aspects of your life, making you their servants and achieving their aims at your expense. Precisely what Benjamin Franklin warned you against. And he wanted me to tell you, keep his name out of your fucking dirty mouth, okay? Don't talk about our guy like that, mister. And point 3. You are a nation that permits the production, trading, and usage of intoxicants. You also permit drugs and only forbid the trade of them, even though your nation is the largest consumer of them. Again, point taken. We'll try to work on that over here, and just don't talk to us anymore, okay? Leave us alone. And we'll leave you alone if that's what you want. If you hate us so much, say less. We'll peace out. Okay, so you are a nation that permits acts of immorality, and you consider them to be pillars of personal freedom. Again, true. You have continued to sink down this abyss from level to level until incest has spread amongst you, in the face of which neither your sense of honor nor your laws object. Who can forget your President Clinton's immoral acts of committed in the official Oval Office? Oh, now he's clowning. Now he's just making fun of us. After that, you did not even bring him to account, other than that he made a mistake, after which everything passed with no punishment. Is there a worse kind of event for which your name will go down in history and remembered by nations? Oh, I don't know. Probably all of the alleged child trafficking and godless and absolutely disgusting, horrific things that were done by Bill Clinton, besides, getting a blowy in the Oval Office. I think that was probably the least of it. But yeah, we'll go with your example. Sure. Point 5, you are a nation that permits gambling in all its forms. The companies practice this as well, resulting in the investments becoming active and the criminals becoming rich. Point 6, you are a nation that exploits women like consumer products or advertising tools, calling upon customers to purchase them. You use women to serve passengers, visitors, and strangers to increase your profit margins. You then rant that you support the liberation of women. Again, point taken. Listen, I'm telling it like it is. I'm sorry, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. But it doesn't mean just because you're calling out all of our flaws that you have the right to come over here and kill 3,000 of our innocent civilians. Okay? Just absolutely not. And where you get the audacity and the idea that you can do that and then write a letter and taunt us and make fun of us and think that, just because you invoke these, sins of our past, that we're supposed to just take it. And then some of our young university students and young people who are just idiotic retards actually do take it. It's a big red flag, and it's a stain on our nation that we have allowed it to get this way, and it's something that we severely need to work on. But it doesn't mean that America is trash and we need to throw it away, or that Western civilization is trash and we need to throw it away. I think that people need to take back their governments that are corrupt and that are failing them, quick, fast. And we need to correct our course. And we need to bring God back into the equation. I mean, it's real simple. It's real, black and white for me. I don't need to read this letter and, knowing what I know, praise Osama bin Laden as some sort of truth teller. You're not telling me anything new with this fucking letter, Mr. Man. Okay? You're still egregious. You're still a piece of shit for saying this. If you even said it. I don't know. But even if you didn't, whatever. I don't know you. So, I'm good either way. So I'm gonna stop right there, guys, because it's he's just getting long-winded now. It's wrap it up. My God. I know you have a lot of time on your hand living in a cave and all, but you're wasting mine now. He just goes on to talk about more and more complaints that he has about America being bad because they've done this, that, and the other thing in the Middle East. And, a lot of these people on TikTok, and we'll just go ahead and look at those now, they didn't live through 9/11. I was in middle school, I believe. I was 13 or 14 when 9/11 happened. And not only that, I have a personal connection because 9/11, my birthday is September 11th. So every year I have this same kind of thoughtful reflection and how horrific it was when I was experiencing it firsthand. And a lot of these people who are on these apps now talking about this, it's asinine because, first of all, they don't even remember it. They don't know anything about it. They're just reading some words, taking them at face value, and then spouting off nonsense. So it's just a joke. And they don't really understand the full magnitude. I don't even know if half of these people probably haven't even looked at footage from that day. Really observed the footage from that day, which was horrific. And understood what actually took place. Whatever you believe about 9/11, it doesn't matter. Can we not all agree that that was one of the worst days in history? One of the worst things that could have happened to us as a country, not only for the citizens who lost their lives, but for the morality and the soul of the country. That was another huge turning point in what has broken apart our nation at its very foundation, at its core. The infiltration in the 50s after JFK was killed and all that, that was a huge turning point. And then I feel like 9/11 was another huge turning point. And I do feel like our government had some sort of knowledge or hand in what happened. Absolutely, I do. And our government's evil. And I've said this, and you guys know this. But that doesn't give these people the right to get on TikTok and say all this kind of nonsense out of their stupid, low IQ, woke ass mouths.
This morning I read Letter to America, which is Osama bin Laden's letter to America explaining why he attacked Americans.
Girl, how many times did you say America?
I am ashamed to say that I not only have never read this letter,
Wow,
but I
shocking.
didn't even know this letter existed. It's wild, and everyone should read it. If you haven't read it yet, read it. However, be forewarned that this has left me very disillusioned, and I feel the same exact way I felt when I was deconstructing Christianity. I feel
wow, there it
a little
is.
bit just confused, like I have entered into another timeline. What is this? And yeah, so go read it.
So I just read A Letter to America, and I will never look at life the same. I will never look at this country the same. I will never.
Can you look at that bonnet?
Read it, and if you have read it, let me know if you are also going through an existential crisis in this very moment. Because in the last 20 minutes, my entire viewpoint on the entire life I have believed and I have lived has changed.
That's sad.
Please read that entire letter.
I need everyone to stop what they're doing right now and go read. It's literally 2 pages. Go read A Letter to America. And please come back here and just let me know what you think, because I feel like I'm going through like an existential crisis right now. And a lot of people are. So I just need someone else to be feeling this too.
I need you to stop what you're doing and go read A Letter to America. It is literally the craziest thing I've read in a while. And while I can't say that I'm that surprised, I am pretty shocked. So go read it and tell me what you think, because I really also need to talk to other people about this. And actually, before you even read the letter, I did want to mention, in reading the letter, I could only think of this tweet that I saw the other day. Under settler colonialism, any kind of resistance is branded as terrorist because the only acceptable violence is violence by the occupier.
So this is fucking insane. I just read Osama bin Laden's Letter to America, which I will be going through right here, but it's actually so mind-fucking to me that terrorism has been sold as this idea to the American people, and honestly just so many Western inhabitants within certain nations, that this group of people, this random group of people, just suddenly wakes up one day and just fucking hates you, just wants you dead, wants you gone, and this is all because they believe that they're better than us. Like, that is the root of terrorism. It doesn't make sense. They just hate your fucking nation. But reading this letter, it becomes apparent to me that the actions of 9/11 and those acts committed against the USA and its people were all just a buildup of our government failing other nations.
We do not care.
And these are the type of people that are going to get thrown off rooftops in Palestine, if you know what I mean. They're gay. And they're idiots, you know. And maybe they deserve to be thrown off rooftops. Kidding, of course. I disavow all violence. But I'm just saying, like, how idiotic are you that it takes 20 minutes for your entire point of view and you to go through an existential crisis after reading 2 pages worth of words and your whole entire worldview is upended in the span of 20 minutes. You got to be on shaky ground for that to be true. So I will pray for you guys, but y'all really need to get it together. I mean, these people that are, you know, Gen Zers, or these like younger college age woke leftist liberals are, it's going to be hell to pay. It is going to be hell to pay for all of us who are going to have to deal with these people in the real world as we all get older and we all have to navigate this country in the coming years. Okay, I mean, I get scared thinking about it. But these were the reactions. These were just some of the reactions on TikTok. And before I play you guys some of the, just to kind of revisit 9/11 before we go, and let y'all hear an absolutely heartbreaking phone call to 911 from somebody who was in the towers on that day. I was watching Megyn Kelly's show earlier, and she played it on her show, and I mean, it just like tore my heart out of my chest. And it's every time I watch 9/11 footage, no matter how many times I've seen it before, I mean, it's just, it does something to me, and maybe to you. I don't know. You might not have a soul. I don't know you out there. I mean, my viewers probably all have the same sentiments that I have, because you guys are watching my videos, and that means you're probably an epic person. But I mean, this phone call was just gut-wrenching. And These were real people who had families, who lost their lives for no reason. And not only the people in the towers and the people in the planes those days, but like the firefighters, people in New York City who were breathing toxicity for years. Our government lying to those people, saying that the air was okay and safe to breathe. Dying years later, suffering miserable, horrific, painful deaths because of the poisoning that happened in New York City, you know, in the aftermath of this horrific act. It's just enough to make you want to, like, cry for days. The catalyst for all of the hatred and pain that Americans have had to feel from these terrorists who, yes, granted, they don't just wake up one day and hate us, but we didn't just wake up one day and hate them either. And just as their innocent civilians don't deserve to die, ours certainly don't deserve to die. You know, so that's my stance. This country deserves to live on. America is a force for good. Look at all the accomplishments that we've had. Look at all of the people that we have in this country who are amazing, giving, kind people. I mean, we have a lot to work on, but at our core, at our center, at our heart, this is an amazing, beautiful place. And we are lucky to live here. We're lucky to be Americans. All of those idiots deserve to be shot off into space to go live on Mars, okay? For speaking that way about the country that gave them the privilege and everything that they have. That satin, silk, whatever, pink do-rag on that girl's head as she's sitting up there having an existential crisis, okay? It's just ridiculous. The privilege that these people don't even see and understand that they have. But our government, piece of shit. You know, I will be the first to say it. So we're going to revisit 9/11. You haven't heard these horrific phone calls from victims from that day. To understand the gravity of the situation and what was actually lost on that day, I just feel it's important to pay homage and to pay tribute to these people because it was so devastating what happened, and it was so undeserved, and those were real people with real families and real lives that should never have had that happen to them. So this was the call that I've heard on Megyn Kelly's show earlier, and it is absolutely one of the saddest things that I've ever heard. I mean, so just trigger warning, whatever, in advance. If you guys don't want to hear this, y'all can, you know, I'll see y'all next time, but I, like I said, wanted to play these because 9/11 is important to America. It is something that needs to be remembered and needs to be learned from. We have to take something from this. We have to understand something from this. And the lesson is not that bin Laden was right and justified. Absolutely not. And Kevin Cosgrove was in Tower 2, which was the second one hit and the first one to collapse.
Smoke, right there, 105, 2 power. All right, sit tight. We'll get to you as soon as we can. There's some staying up at the smoke right there, man. That's all we need. That's all we can do. Where are you? Where you guys up to? We're getting there. We're getting there. Doesn't feel like it, man. I got young kids. I understand that, sir. We're on the way. He's like 105th corner, northwest corner. Yeah, no problem. We're operator. Yeah. Come on, man. Okay, we have everything, sir. I know you do, but it doesn't seem like it. You got lots of people up here. I understand. I know you got a lot in the building, but we're up on the top. Smoke rises. We're on the floor. We're in the window. And then we have to be in green now. Can't see. Okay. Just try to hang it there. I'm going to say this to you. So you're in an air conditioned building. What the hell happened? Okay, I'm still here. She's still trying to find a partner, trying to get me. They didn't feel like it.
And at this point, the fire department, they weren't trying to get to those people. They knew.
Thank God to blow you in from the list.
Oh my God, dude.
It's really bad. It's black. It's iron. Does anybody else want to chime in here? We're young men. We're not ready to die. How the hell are you going to get my ass down? I need oxygen. They have a lot of apparatus on the It doesn't feel like it, lady. You get them in from all over. They get in from Jersey. I don't give a shit Ohio. Okay, so what's your last name? Mine's high school. I must have called about a dozen times already. COSGROVE. Yeah, my wife thinks I'm all right. I called her and said I was leaving the building. I was fine, and bang. Well, I want to hold on. Cherry. That Cherry, you said, right? Yeah. That Cherry's next to me. 105. Who's office? John Ashford's office. That's what you said. That's the office. We're in John Ashford's office. OST. ARU. ARU. Right. That's the office we're at. There's three of us in here. OST ARU. Hello? Hello? We're looking at financial center. Three of us, two broken windows. Oh, God!
Oh, my God. I mean, I just, like, that phone call just, like, that is the most heartbreaking thing. I mean, just imagining putting yourself in that position, like, because right before, like, the phone cut off is when the tower collapsed. Right on these people that were alive. I mean, to think that there's people on TikTok who would even... I can't even talk right now. I'm like, okay, here's just a few more. We'll listen to a few more of these, and then I'll wrap it up for you guys.
We're on the 43rd floor. It's stairway B. What floor should we try to get up to, Oreo? I'm up to 5'5".
He went 12 floors in 10 minutes, wearing all the bunker gear, which is 50 or 60 pounds.
We're going to have to host it. I'm on 69 now, so we need a higher bank, please. These stairway walls have been compromised on 73 and 74. The walls are breached, so be careful. Okay.
When I first heard Orio's voice on the tapes, you can tell he knows he's in a race against time.
Orio's conserving his oxygen, he's conserving his energy. That's why there's not a lot of chatter on his part on the tape.
6 more to go. What stand are you in, Oreo? South Tower, South Tower. We got police, isolated pockets of fire. We should be able to knock it down with 2 lines. Where you know that? 78th floor, numerous 1045 code lines. 478. South Tower here. Numerous civilians, there's 2 engines up here. All right, 10-4, we're on our way.
The people who were there at the point of impact to have seen him, I can only imagine there must have been some elation or euphoria that's probably undescribable. Maybe. Just to see him and realize there's some hope here, thanks to this guy who just made it up here.
Mother's God. 8695, good morning, have a good day. Hi, what's your number again, please? 8695. Oh my God, I'm on the 83rd floor. 86 what? I'm on the 83rd floor. Tell me 86 what? 8695. 8695. It's at the World Trade Center. Someone having difficulty breathing on the 83rd floor. Okay, ma'am, how you doing? Are they going to be able to get somebody up here? Well, of course, ma'am. We're coming up to you. Well, there's no one here yet, and the floor is completely engulfed. We're on the floor, and we can't breathe. Okay. And it's very, very, very hot. Are the lights still on? The lights are on, but it's very hot. Ma'am. Very hot. We're all the way on the other side of Liberty, and It's very, very hot. Any lights? You can turn the lights off? No, the lights are off. Okay, good. Now, everybody stay calm. You're doing a good job. Please. Ma'am, listen. Damn if everybody's coming, everybody knows. Everybody knows what happened, okay? Yeah. But no, they have to take time to come up here. You know that. You got to be very careful. It's very hot. I understand. You got to be very, very careful how they approach you, okay? All right? So when they come upstairs, it won't be worse than it is. Now, you stay calm. So how many people where you're at right now? There's like 5 people here with me. All up from the 83rd floor? 83rd floor. With 5 people. 5 patients. Everybody's having trouble breathing? Everybody's having trouble breathing. Some people are worse. And some people unconscious. Everybody's awake? So far, yes. But it's listen. Everybody's awake? Yes, so far. Conscious. And it's very hot there, but no fire, right? I can't see. No, it's too high. Very hot. No fire for now, and no smoke, right? No smoke, right? Of course there's smoke. Ma'am, you have to stay calm. There is smoke. I can't breathe. Okay, you stay calm with me, okay? I understand. I think there is fire because it's very hot. Okay. It's very hot everywhere on the floor. Okay. I know you don't see it, and I know, but I'm going to document. I'm documenting what you say, okay? And it's very hot. We see no fire, but you see smoke, right? It's very hot. I see any air anymore. Okay. All I see is smoke. Okay, dear. I'm so sorry. Hold on stay calm with me. Stay calm. Now, listen. The call is in. I'm documenting. I'm going to let them... Hold on 1 second, please. I'm going to die, aren't I? No. I'm going to die. Ma'am, say your prayers. And we're going to think positive because you got to help each other get off the floor. I'm going to die. Stay calm. God. You're doing a good job, ma'am. You're doing a good job. It's so hot. I'm burning up. Okay. If you don't, the floors is hot and everything is hot. They're all their destinies. When you go up high, you get too close away from the smoke. Okay. I know you know. Hold on a second. 83rd floor, 3 people trapped. It's very hot on the 83rd floor. Okay, stay calm till they get inside. Find out where they are. There, so they won't overlook you, okay, dear? Can you? I already did that. Can I line with you, please? Yes, ma'am. I am going to stay with you.
Jack, pick up, sweetie. Okay, well, I just wanted to tell you I love you. We're having a little problem on the plane. I'm totally fine. I just love you more than anything. Just know that. And, I'm comfortable and I'm okay for now. It's a little problem, so I just love you. Please tell my family I love them too. Bye, honey. Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I don't know what to say. There's 3 guys. They've hijacked the plane. I'm trying to be calm. We're turned around, and I've heard that there's planes that's been flown into the World Trade Center. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
So just utter shame, and I mean, I have no words. Shame on the people on TikTok. Idiots, useful idiots, okay, who have anything to say for support against these people losing their lives. And that's what you're doing when you're spreading the propaganda of people who want to see the destruction of this country instead of defending your fellow citizens and absolutely disavowing their loss of life. We have shit like this go viral. So it's disgusting. You can have, and I do more than anybody have thoughts about the government and the piss poor job they've done and how badly they've screwed us. But never does that give anyone the right to speak out against our American citizens having to go through this, what these people went through. It's completely unjustified, completely disgusting lack of respect and human dignity to then go on your TikTok and say that this letter is so great and Osama bin Laden was so right. I don't care what you know or what you think you know about 9/11. You're a disgrace. So y'all let me know, guys. That's it for me for today. Y'all take care, and I will see y'all later. Bye.
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.